Welcome back to another episode of the Successful Driver Podcast. And I'm always excited to talk to a successful driver. And we have one of those today, Chris Lyon. Chris, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Really excited to talk to you. We wanted to kind of talk about, with a driver, with a driver. And, you've had some relationship with Aero truck sales. And obviously, we're not trying to make this into just an infomercial for Aero, but also just, you've had some good experiences with us. You've had, a good relationship with us at Aero, and just kind of wanted to get a driver's perspective on all of that. So I would just like to, we'll start off the top. Where are you from? Where you drive, and what are you driving?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Grew up here. And I've been here all my life. Was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. 2013 is when I made the decision to go to truck driving school and become a over-the-road driver for 2 years with Schneider, tankers. And then went to Slay, did tankers a little bit more. And then 2016, I started with FedEx Ground, where my boss, Jamal Cook, he was the one that helped me get started as a contractor. And unfortunately, my father passed away in 2020, and he had really taken care of the family to where I was able to, chase after my dream of owning my own business and being self-employed. So I became a self-employed, and I started my company in 2021, Warriors 360 Transportation. It's a veteran-owned and operated company. My family is real big in the military. Grandfathers, uncles, and myself all served. So I wanted to, do something for veterans. So I started this company and kind of create a legacy that my dad basically is the one that got me started, and trying to, leave a legacy to my sons. So I got started. I got 3 trucks, 2 which I've purchased through Aero. Both, one was a Volvo 2019, the other one was a Volvo 2020, both sleepers. I have 3 drivers plus myself. I have a contract with FedEx Ground currently, which is 2 of the trucks. And then I'm currently putting the other one Volvo. I had a contract with Osborne. The freight kind of died out just with the economy and stuff we're going through. And so I'm moving it to Landstar and leasing it on there at Landstar, which I got 2 more applicants going through the application process with Landstar to be approved as drivers. And then it's kind of where I'm currently at. The white 2019 Volvo did have some issues, but thank God I got the warranty. It was some warranty work in the injector, so it was just recently taken care of, which I am grateful that Bob talked me into getting the warranty on it. But it's like all mechanical things, and all everything breaks down, has its issues. It's nothing. I don't look at Aero as the culprit of that. I just, equipment breaks down and things happen, and it's part of trucking, which I'm finding a lot of the things are. You gotta be out there keeping those wheels turning for when you do have the breakdowns, and so they can get kind of overwhelming at times, and just getting through that. But I have such great feeling about my future and my truck company, and I have the right people in that, because I don't want to know it all. I mean, I want to know people that know things that I don't have to worry about. So like my tax guy, he does the taxes, that kind of stuff, so I just find the right people to do, so I don't have to know it all. So that is one thing that's helped me out, is just it's all about who you know. And that is such a true statement. So I, like I said, I can't take all the credit. Like I said, one for my dad, I want to be in a position I am today. I mean, it was kind of funny, and I can talk more about it in a little bit, but, I was one of the trucks that I got. It was from my boss, and it was a truck that I was sleeping in for 2 months until I found a place to live. So I had run into my share of things to overcome. Sure. And now I'm in such a better place. So I just never gave up. So
that's great to hear, man. I'd love to kind of just talk to you a little bit more about how did you arrive at Arrow when you were going through the process of purchasing trucks? How did that all begin?
Well, I just started the process of searching for, I had the investment money. And so I was looking for certain equipment had certain safety features. FedEx is really known for their, having the cameras and having the forward collision and all these features. So there's a whole bunch of features that the trucks had to have. So it's kind of hard. And during the time, 2021, there was a shortage of trucks. Everything with the chips and everything that was going on with the world, COVID and all this stuff was kind of going on. And a lot of people ask me, why are you starting a business now with everything that's going on? And it's like, well, I got to do something. So, I try not to let the other stuff affect me. So, so I searched and, I had some other people tell me that, Arrow had a good variety of trucks out there. So, so I actually just pulled in a dealership one day when I was over there. Wow. And that's when I met Bob. And then I started, started talking to him. And like I said, he was a good guy. And like I said, he's old school, kind of like me. I'm 51 years old. And, there was just, we just clicked. He's a good guy. And like I said, he sat down, took time to understand what I needed. And he found the equipment. Found it with the safety specs and everything that I needed for my contract. So we just got started, and I purchased that first truck in 2022. And then my contract actually started running for FedEx was January, 1st of January. So, and then like I said, I had the two white trucks. So they had to be white because that's FedEx. They have to be white. And then the blue one, I got that actually second, but I put that on at a different company while I was still waiting on my contract. So at least I had some income coming in to pay the truck payments and things like that. So it kind of just worked out. So.
Yeah. So you kind of talked a little bit about maybe what you kind of hear from people out in the field or, out there. What's kind of the perception of Arrow? Like, you said it kind of, you heard that they had a lot of trucks. Is that what you hear about Arrow, or do you hear other things that kind of drew you to this, to Arrow?
No, I just heard that they had a good inventory is what my first impression was. They had a good inventory. And when I pulled in a lot, that's what it looked like, so I mean, they had a lot of different variations of different trucks, just not one brand. Even though Bob knows I'm, still looking to, I want to have a fleet of Mack trucks. So, but right now I wasn't going to be too picky with the truck shortage. So, I like the Volvo. The Volvo's had good ratings as being one of the safest trucks out there on the road. Engine, dropping underneath if there's a head-on collision. So, my concern is always about my drivers, and you're only as good, your company's only as good as your employees. And that's one thing my dad taught me is to take care of your own and take care of, your customers. So I wanted to, get something that I felt good that safety wise was a good truck for my drivers. So that way they had what they needed to do their job. So, the sleeper was one of the ones, the long route that I have to Toledo Monday through Friday. My driver did drove other trucks for another contractor, and they're always day cabs. And the horror stories of him and the years that he spent doing that route, sleeping on the floor of a day cab and things like that. It's just crazy. And it's like, you're sitting up there for 2.5 hours. I'm going to get you a sleeper. So I told, Bob what I needed. He found me that Volvo sleeper, and that's what he's currently driving right now. And he actually thanked me over the weekend for everything that I've done for him. He just actually closed on his own house.
Oh, wow.
So he's making the pay that he wanted to take care of his single dad, taking care of his daughter. And so, yeah, so I feel good about how me doing this for myself has helped other people. And that's what I'm trying to do. So
that's incredible. And I want to ask you a little bit more about that here in a little bit. I did want to ask you, I guess one of the things that we say at Arrow a lot of times is it's not if a used truck will break down, it's when. We don't run or hide away from the fact that we are selling used inventory. We are selling used trucks. We just believe that we purchase the right trucks. We stand behind the trucks we sell, and we still think all these trucks have a useful life. That doesn't mean there's not going to be problems. It sounds like you run into some problems, that happen naturally when you get 400, 500, 600,000 miles on a truck.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your post-purchase experience with Aero, and you talked a little bit about it, but I want to hear a little bit more.
Well, like I said, Bob, he took time to understand what I needed, and once he got the trucks I needed, and like I said, I know trucks, like I said, they break down and stuff like that. So it's just about, I think a lot of companies, they don't really take good care. I mean, you see some of the trucks out down the road, it looks like they've been beat to hell and back. And, I think if you, take care of, like, I've seen a lot of contractors and that take forever to fix their trucks and do things that need to be done. I try to stay on top of it. As soon as my driver says there's something, I want to try to, take care of it right away for them. So that way it just shows that, that I'm trying to make sure that the truck's safe and that, their stuff is running for them. They don't have to go to work and think, man, is this thing going to work tonight or is it going to break down? And that's how some of the drivers that I've listened to at, different places, they talk about, like, man, my boss doesn't really fix these things. They're just waiting for it to be on the side of the road until they fix it. So yeah, it's just, I try to stay on top of the maintenance. I'm just trying to make sure that they stay up and running, and anything goes wrong, take care of it then and there and be done with it and move on. So.
You said you purchased the warranty, and Bob kind of pushed you towards that. How does that kind of play a role in keeping your trucks on the road?
Well, it was the injectors failed on it, and so the warranty covered $6,700 worth of it. So the extended warranty was $10,000 that I purchased through Aero. So it almost paid for itself just with that repair. Of course, there was $3,600 it didn't cover. That was out of my pocket, but the way I look at it, that $6,700, if I wouldn't have got that warranty, that would have been another big chunk out of my bank account for that. So I was glad that I got the extended warranty, and I do recommend that people do get the extended warranties, just because you never know. And when the situation sometimes you might never need it, and you might feel like you wasted that $10,000 getting it, and never panned out. But then when something does break down that you needed that warranty, then you're going to wish you had it. Just like you hear people about their cell phones. Some people don't get the warranty on their cell phones. They think, I'll never drop my phone. And then when they do, then they don't have that warranty. Then they're paying for a new phone. Yeah. So it's just kind of like that. You just never know when bad things are going to happen.
Chris, we always like to ask this question. What do you think makes a successful driver?
Successful drivers, I had to put down some notes about that. Patience, knowing, I think safety, you got to be safety conscious out there, and being a defensive driver, I think, is the best way, is knowing what a driver is actually going to do before they do it, kind of anticipate their move. By, I drive nights, I currently drive the one FedEx route myself. Third shift, running out there at night. So you're at that time of night, you're watching out for the occasional drunk driver. You're, watching for people who might be falling asleep behind the wheel. Yeah. People, you see the lights and everything lit up in their car. They're probably on their phone looking at text messages. You can tell by their weaving, out of the lines. And so, I back off those people. I pretty much let them get away from me. And then when there's a lot of congestion, my suggestion is sometimes it's best to find a off ramp or a rest area. Pull in there for 20 minutes. I feel like most of the time when I come back out after I've people just acting all crazy around me, I pull into a rest area and wait 20 minutes, get back out there, and it's like I'm out there by myself. Like there's nobody around me. There's other drivers. The situation's you're no longer in that congestion of those those drivers that are acting crazy, speeding, weaving in and out of traffic, just, all these potential accidents that they could be, and you don't want to be around it. So sometimes I feel like it's best just to pull over, take a break, get out, stretch, maybe get something to drink from a vending machine, and then get back in a truck. You feel like you've woken up a little bit, and then get back out there on the road. And like I said, use most out of 10 out of times that there's like nobody around me. Like traffic's all gone, and I just feel like I'm out there by and it's late night, so there's not much traffic out there anyway. But when there is that congestion, sometimes you just want to get away from that. Just pull over, wait 20 minutes, then get back out there, and it's a whole different driving experience.
Chris, it's been great getting to know you a little bit here. I'd love to ask you some questions just about your military service and all that. So you first off, thank you for your service. How long were you in the military? And, just tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, you're welcome for my service. I was in for 8 years in the Marine Corps. My grandfather growing up was a World War II vet and Purple Heart, decorated Purple Heart, was shot in the leg in World War II. So growing up as a kid, he was my hero, listening to his stories and he was the one that first told me that phrase that, he volunteered for World War II. He didn't get drafted or anything. So he wanted to go and fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. And then, so that was the first time I ever heard that. And so, yeah, it just stuck with me. And I knew all growing up, and even my mom knew it before I got back from the recruiter station, that she knew I was going to enlist, and she didn't know what branch that I was going to enlist in. And, but she knew, because that's all I wanted to do when I grew up, and had no idea I was going to be a truck owner. I never knew that was in the cards at the time. And, being in the military, I grew up in the military. I mean, I got to travel the world, got to see, a lot of things. And I have all, nothing but respect for any person that puts on the uniform, and including our police and firefighters and anybody that serves. And that my hat goes off to those people. And I thank them when I'm out and about. I see a veteran with a hat or something. I go out of my way to shake their hand and thank them because of freedom. And then our, police officers, I thank them for their service. They're out there protecting us every day here in the States. But then the, soldiers are the ones that are out there fighting the wars. And so I'm, like I said, my whole family, my uncle was in the Air Force, I had another uncle in the Marine Corps, grandfather in the Navy, grandfather in the Army. So it's just a long line of men, of heroes that have gone through and sacrificed more than I have. But I just, that's where I got the company name, Warriors 360 Transportation, was for the veterans that are warriors, and they're, going out to serve our country and then coming back to a civilian life. And that's where the 360 degrees. So it's like a full circle that they've served, and now they're back. And, hopefully my company out, I'm trying to build a veteran workforce of just, drivers that just want to try to make a living and take care of their families and keep the economy going. And, because we all love this great nation that we're a part of, and veterans have fought for that. So that's where the name, the Warriors 360 Transportation, came from. And like I said, it wouldn't have happened without my dad, leaving my family well off to where I could chase that dream. And my mom is my investor, so she's given me everything that helped me get started. So I'm thankful for my parents, and they're true heroes themselves.
So do you have veterans driving for you right now?
I have one that's coming on that is doing the Landstar. I have other ones that are waiting. I just finished the government contract process, registering my company with the government website, and I just finished that yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I got a couple of drivers. I've kept a lot of relationships with drivers throughout through Schneider. One of the Marines that I was driving with, Schneider, said as soon as I had the government contracts and that he'd come and work for me. So I do have veterans in the wings that are looking to get started and work for me. So,
yeah, how, just like how important and how valuable as a veteran do you feel like the trucking industry has been for you in your journey after service?
It has been, well, like I said, when I was, before I made the decision to be a driver, actually, I was doing construction and I was working for a masonry company. And I had, I went through some bad divorce, child support and everything. And basically, the construction was kind of based on jobs and I'd get laid off, so I would be unemployed for times. And it's kind of hard to stay up on child support stuff when you're getting laid off. And so I went out to lunch with one of my Marine buddies I served with, and he was a truck driver for Frisch's. And we sat down there along the Ohio River there and had some pizza and talked to me. I was like, he's like, you should go to truck driving school. You should get, be a truck driver. Is like, there's so many jobs out there for veterans and, for, just anybody. Like every day when you go down the road, you see all the things on the back of these trailers and they're hiring drivers, so he's like, you're always going to have a job, so I was like, yeah, you're right. So I went to Napier Truck Driving School here in Ohio in 2013. Got my CDLs, and then the guy there that he's no longer he was a veteran, but Rusty, he basically told me once I got my 2 years over the experience that my CDLs would be golden. I could probably get a job with any truck company if I maintained a good driving record and got that 2 years have over the road. So I did, and I treated I'd go out 2 weeks at a time, and I treated it like a mission. And I, had my military duffel bag and that. My parents would drop me off at my truck, and then I would go out for 2 weeks. And I just didn't know where my destination was going to take me. Didn't know, what jobs I was going to be on, what loads I was going to be running. So I just treated it like, keep an open mind and just go with the flow and just treat it like a mission. You don't know what you're going to be doing, but you just got to get it done. So I just, treated it like that. And I'd go out there and like I said, I got to see more of the United States in 2 years than I had seen my entire life as a truck driver. So it was a great experience. So
there's veterans, we see, veterans, get into the trucking industry a lot. Maybe there's a veteran out there that is a driver that's looking to maybe become an owner operator for the first time. What's something you want veterans and veterans that are currently in the trucking industry to know about becoming an owner operator?
It's a lot. There's a lot involved. I mean, a lot that I didn't even what I thought I knew wasn't everything that, I'm still learning. And I've been doing, this since 2021. And like I said, it's just been it's been a journey. And I can just tell owner operators, that, you can do anything. Anything's possible. No matter if you, had somebody, will you money or if you came into money. I mean, there's programs out there for getting started just with one truck, starting small and work yourself up. I have big dreams, but like I said, I look at, I set goals for myself, daily and monthly and yearly goals. And whether I achieve them or not, I learned, from my dad and from other business owners and that you reset the goals. If you don't hit them, you can always push the reset button and reset them and then start again. So just, staying focused and making sure you understand everything as least much as you can and talk to somebody. I always say talk to somebody that's in that profession. Talk to an owner operator. Talk to a business owner, ask them what are some pitfalls that they ran into and just understand what everything from, being an owner. A lot of people are used to being an employee. Not a lot of people are used to, they don't really teach that in school. They basically, you're raised all through school and that to be an employee, not to go out and be a business owner and start something what, this country was founded on, people that, started stuff for themselves. And like I said, people are just, they don't like change. They don't, they have a hard time with it. They're comfortable in their comfort zone, and you got to get outside that box. And before I was a truck owner, actually, back up a little bit, and this was before I was construction, is I was a part owner of a Westchester Bar and Grill restaurant. And I had been doing restaurant work all since high school. I started out in the restaurant business, I think 86 or 87 as a waiter and busser and dishwasher. I did all the bartending and all that kind of stuff, and it was like 20 some years on and off. It was always a secondary job for me, do on the weekends, nights, whatever. And so yeah, we got into with some guys and started a restaurant, with those guys, and I said it was an experience. I had a lot of fun, learned a lot. But then I also learned you need to be careful who you get in business with. Mm. So that's the only part that I didn't really understand until I went through things.
For sure.
And then once I figured that out, I had an initial investment of 10 grand, and I told my partners that consider that a gift. I will go find something else, then I'll make my $10,000 back. So here I am, and I've made my $10,000 back.
Well, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you again for your service, and thank you for being a great customer of Aero Truck Sales.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
That's another episode of the Successful Driver Podcast. Thank you all so much. We'll catch you later.